with great pleasure now to bring on board Mr. Ashok Hinduja, Chairman of IndusInd International Holdings. Of course, the Hinduja Group is the promoter group of IndusInd Bank, and we are talking to him on a day when the stock has collapsed by 25% and concerns have been raised around disclosures and corporate governance and what the way forward for the bank is. Mr. Hinduja, we really appreciate the fact that on a tough day like this, you've chosen ET Now and you're speaking to us. My first question, sir, and I hope you'll appreciate the spirit of my question, is that the shareholders are worried about suddenly what has come to light in terms of this large loss and corporate governance and reported losses. What do you have to say to that as the promoter of the bank?
Okay, Nikunj, let me tell you, as far as what I have seen and read in the media about the problem what the bank has faced in derivatives, looking to the financial numbers, we see the bank is in a very healthy position. 65,000 is the net worth, 9 months profitability in this financial year, operating profit is 11,000 some odd crores, and 1,500 or 1,600 crores, this problem which has come up in derivatives, it very well can be taken care. But my concern is how the market has taken so much so that over 16,000 crores, over $2 billion, just in 2 hours, it has impacted the market cap. The market's situation has gone so bad. Our full support to the bank is there. Even previously, during COVID time, when the problems had come, the promoter always stood by the bank. It is now over 30 years. This bank has come into existence, and our support to the bank will always be there, including the warrants which were issued at 1,700 rupees. There was various concern with various medias when the price was 900 and 1,000 rupees, whether the promoter will subscribe to the warrants. But it was proved that they did it, irrespective of so much price difference. Now also, if there is any further capital raise, the promoter is ready to inject. We are awaiting our approval from 15 to 26%. Though the policy is already in existence, it is in the process with the regulator to get this approval. No sooner we get, will be very easy to move in. But as I understand from the financial numbers, the capital adequacy is no problem. Their capital adequacy is already, even with this provisioning, will be over 15%. So this is my feedback and my response as a promoter entity's chairman. I would like to clarify on this.
Okay. So you're confirming to us that if you get the permission from Reserve Bank of India to increase your stake, you're fully committed to recapitalize the bank?
Yes, though I say that today recapitalization is not required. Their capital adequacy is already strong, even after taking a hit of this 1,500-1,600, because the operating profit for 9 months, as it is already published, is over 11,100 crores.
Markets are also worried about the way how the professional management, in a sense, has been really following the disclosure norms. I mean, there was a huge MFI problem which came 2 quarters ago. Before that, there was this external audit which was being done. Is the promoter family happy with the current professionals who are running IndusInd Bank, or there needs to be a change there?
Now, let me tell you, see, a banking business is of borrowing and lending. And you will always see globally, most of the big banks have some problem or the other, depending on the economy of those countries. It also impacts the day-to-day running of the management and the board. But let me tell you, we as promoter have full trust and confidence on the managing director, on the board. When such problem comes, I think they'll be able to handle and tackle the situation.
So can I read it between lines, Mr. Hinduja, and say that Mr. Katpalia, who has been offered a 1-year extension from Reserve Bank of India, he is likely to continue for at least 1 more year?
See, that is left to the regulator. As we understand, and media is aware, that 3-year board had recommended to the regulator. And the regulator has cleared 1 year. So that's the prerogative of the regulator. How many years to do and how many years they can further extend. But I still feel confident if the MD, who did excellent job in 20, when the stock prices had gone down, and he brought that back to 1500 plus. Now again some problems have come. I'm sure that he'll be able to handle it because the balance sheet is very strong, and healthy balance sheet with these types of problems can be solved. And as far as his renewal is concerned, more than 1 year, that is in the hands of the regulator. And at the board recommendation, if he does a good job and if the board thinks that yes, we should request the regulator for further extension, that I have no prerogative to comment on that.
But in general, sir, apart from Mr. Katpalia, the CFO place is also vacant. Can you reassure the market that the top team, wherever the gaps are, they would be filled sooner than later?
Again, this question, you see, how can I? Because I'm not on the board and neither I'm on the day-to-day management. This is the job of the board and the management to recommend, to recruit the CFO. I understand the CFO is already there at the moment, who's Mr. Arun Khurana. Currently, he's the CFO, and he's also the deputy CEO, and he's on the board of the bank.
Okay. So, do you think somewhere, sir, as a promoter, the way markets are reacting to IndusInd Bank on this news, is that reaction slightly overblown?
Yes, as I earlier said, the market has taken over, expected, but I don't blame the market because banks are always trusted as integrity, and the perception goes with the integrity. So I can only say, as a promoter, we have full trust and confidence. These errors and problems and technicalities, when comes, and it has come in various banks globally, I think the management and the board are intelligent enough to handle the situation tactfully.
I also understand that the promoters have also a big pledge in IndusInd Bank, and that in a sense could also make markets nervous, because what I understand, the pledging was done between 9:30 to about 9:50, if my if our data is correct.
See, let me tell you, a promoting company, IndusInd International, has over 600 shareholders globally, high net worth. They have been with the company since over 20, 30 years. They also expect certain revenues and certain value creation from their shares. So they only depend on the dividend. They have not exited. Most of the 95, 98% shareholders have not exited. So they expect the company should do various businesses. So how do they do businesses? They have to either raise more capital, which they have done. They got an opportunity of Reliance Capital for BFSI. They have succeeded in that. They have done so. So when such funding is required, at some time, they acquired a bank in Bahamas. They have invested hugely in Afrinext exchange in Mauritius. So when such entities and opportunities come, if they have to raise some funds, so they may have pledged some shares. So this is not abnormal. As and when they further raise the capital, they will depledge the shares.
Okay. Sir,
But the company is very healthy. and the company is sitting on any time as much capital is required. The shareholders have told to the board that we are ready to inject as much money is required.
Sir, I'll request you just stay with us. I'm going to start summarizing this interview and then I'll go to the part 2 because everybody is in a sense, picking it up. I'm getting messages from my media friends. Our guest team has done a great job in, trying to convince you to join. So I just have some follow-up questions, but I'm going to summarize part 1 here, which is that the promoter family is committed to increase their stake. Second, according to your data, the bank credit, the bank ratios are strong and this derivative loss is not going to have an impact on the bank's balance sheet. There is no risk of a run on a bank and the brand is strong enough. Then you are endorsing full faith into the top management, which is the managing director, Mr. Sumant Katpalia, and you think that the promoters will back him and he's the right man to really, take this forward. And when it comes to the liquidity which the promoters have pledged the IndusInd Bank shares, there also you think that there will be no margin problems because the promoter group is cash rich. Have I put the first 4 points correctly, sir? Then I move to the next point.
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. Now my next point is that since at the initial part of your question, you said that you are waiting from Reserve Bank of India for approval, and it's been over 2 years if my memory serves me right. So what is the status on that? I mean, what was your last communication from Reserve Bank of India? Because for you to increase stake now, which you were ready to do at 1500 plus now, the stocks come down to 1000 plus. I think this is a great time.
See, I cannot question the regulator why there is delay, but I can only tell you that we had received the letter that as per the policy, yes, you can go from 15 to 26%. Please follow the process. We had followed the process. There is Form A, which we have to fill up, which has already been done. It has been sent. Various correspondences have happened, and we have fulfilled all those queries which they have. So now it is in the hands of the regulator. We'll appreciate as and when they think is the right time to provide. We'll take it.
When the promoter looks at IndusInd Bank in all the group companies now, one of the largest investment is financials. What do you have to say to the shareholders who currently are in a panic mode? The stock is down 25%. It's been underperforming the market. What do you have to tell to your shareholders and our viewers who in a sense today are in a panic mode? And I hope you'll appreciate the spirit of my question, sir. I'm just being direct here.
I appreciate. See, on the market, I can't comment on the market. I can only say that they should not panic. The bank's balance sheet is strong. The promoters' full support is behind. And these are only initial crisis, which is a shock, which should be not taken it. But because amount is not great, amount can be absorbed. In this year itself, what I understand from the numbers, the bank will have the profitability of the net profit. And it's a one-off. These types of derivatives, technicality problems keep on coming as we understand globally in many other banks.
But Mr. Hinduja, you'll appreciate that somewhere markets are not worried about this loss. That's mark to market. That happens when a bank or a treasury book is taking a call and call could go right, call could go wrong. The issue, Mr. Hinduja, is that the way it was handled, I mean, there was no hint, there was no indication, and suddenly this hits us, and it is having an impact on damage. So as a promoter, you would say that there needs to be better communication from the bank at least?
See, what you are saying is right, but it's unfortunate I'll not be able to answer that. When, how, what happened, it's the board and the management will know much better. But yes, the concern as a shareholder in any bank or in any company will have concern. And I think as and when Mr. MD comes on the interview, this question can be raised to him, and I think he'll be able to answer very well.
Okay.
You'll appreciate that this is not my prerogative to answer.
But can I say the Hinduja Group and Ashok Hinduja is fully confident that this is a one-off, and for those who are feeling the heat of the stock market fall in IndusInd Bank, they should not be nervous because the bank financials, balance sheet, growth, commitment, NPAs, CASA ratio, everything is looking strong?
Yes, this is what I have already told you and I endorse. And I would like to also clarify one further thing because there is always a confusion. Hinduja Group is one of the founder who started this IndusInd, and Hinduja Group is not a promoter. The promoter entity is IndusInd International Holding Limited, Mauritius. And Hinduja Group was the original founder and investor and percentage 10% shareholder in the bank, in the IIHL. And what you earlier said, our full support to the bank and the financial numbers, what I have seen, we endorse to the strength of the bank.
One more question which only you can answer, and you'll please appreciate my curiosity. I know I'm shamelessly extending my interview with you, but you'll also appreciate that there's so many questions, so much a buzz which is getting created that even my hands and my heart is beating because you are with us. My next question is, sir, just to clear the air on this Reliance Capital merger. Markets are saying that it will become in part of the banking entity. Some are saying it will part of the holding group entity. Where will Reliance Capital sit in the overall scheme of things for the Hinduja Group and for IHL, for IndusInd International Holdings? Where will that acquisition finally sit?
Okay, my dear, let me clarify the situation. It is very well, it is through the insolvency route. There is a resolution plan which has been given, very well clearly said it is IndusInd International who has participated, who has funded, who has done everything. And for your information, just last night, more than 5,600 crores have been already credited to their accounts. 26% the Indian equity holding has already taken place. 2,500 crore equity for the 74% of IIHL also has been injected, and we are hopeful, it's in the process, that by Thursday the 13th, this transaction will go through. And IIHL, and for clarification, there is only discussion for IndusInd Bank to act as a distributor for the entity as they distribute many other insurance companies. So this will then be taken with that basis, and they will, all the commercial terms and conditions with arm's length will be dealt with. But there is no such dialogue or discussion that IndusInd can acquire these entities, because A, they cannot acquire, B, they need the permission from the RBI. Third, IIHL is not interested to give at this stage because they want to create value for their own shareholders.
Well, Mr. Hinduja, on behalf of everyone from ET Now, and really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for patiently answering all our questions.
No, I really appreciate, and I thank you very much that you approached me for this, and I've cancelled all my other appointments because it was very important for the market at large, for the small shareholders who may be investing and who may be concerned and they don't know what to do.
So the full credit goes to my guest team who managed to fix it, especially Apeksha. So we appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.